Recently, an interview by Emily Chang with Brianna Wu on Bloomberg News caught my interest. Wu has an amazing concept that will finally make things fair for the oppressed and discriminated women of the world. What is her brilliant innovation, you ask? Wu wants to use the powers of the federal government to intimidate tech companies to comply with censoring reviews and content online that is perceived to be misogynistic. There are so many flaws with the idea I do not know where to start. I also have no idea why Wu would feel the government should pass a law or threaten to pass a law that would counteract the law put in place by President Obama with almost complete unanimous support from both parties in Congress back in 2016 called the Consumer Review Fairness Act, which, signed into law on December 14, 2016, is a federal consumer protection statute banning the use of a gag clause in non-negotiable consumer form contracts. For those of you that don't know what a non-negotiable consumer form contract is, it is when you agree to terms of use in an online instance mostly that does not allow for any alteration of the terms. It is either you agree to abide by terms of use or you do not and cannot use the product. Back in 2013, a federal lawsuit, Palmer vs. Cleargear.com, the retailer Cleargear tried to force a consumer to remove a negative review online or pay $3,500 in damages to the company as part of their terms of service and their non-disparagement clause. The defendant won, and Cleargear was forced to accept that they could not bully and extort people into saying only what they wanted online. Wu is calling for protection of actress Brie Larson from harassment online. Almost all major social media and media websites have rules regarding harassment of someone based on many different factors, one of those factors being a person's gender. The strongest form of rule enforcement on Twitter is not threats of violence against a person, it is if you misgender or make homophobic remarks. Neither of which are respectful things to do, and most temp companies have rules in place to deal with these issues. Are they perfect? No. Will they be perfect if we use the federal government to enforce them? Not even close. Just to be clear, any real harassment over the film and Larson did not begin until Larson started making disparaging comments about white men specifically. A lot of comments and attitudes that have been attributed towards Larson are overblown. But the fact still remains that Larson used her platform to make comments about a group of people that represent a large share of her fan base. With that fact firmly in mind, why is there any surprise that the response from many was simply not wanting to go to the movie? In 2017, when Wonder Woman released, no one from the cast was out talking down or trash-talking potential moviegoers that wanted to watch the movie. Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins focused on the positive message in the film and story. They focused on using their platform to the consumers in a positive manner and also made an excellent film. The consumers rewarded the movie opening weekend in the US with over $100 million at the box office, which is a record for a film directed by a woman. To date, Wonder Woman has grossed over $822 million worldwide, which can be viewed as an amazing success. In the world of box office earnings, records of the top 3 films, one lead is a male, one lead is a female, and one has a fairly even split between Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. To point to a movie as not being successful because men hate women is a lie on the face of it. If Wu really wants to see people behave in a certain manner, perhaps Wu, Larson, and many others in Hollywood should take a look at Wonder Woman's performance. Perhaps they should evaluate their own behaviors, words, and actions to see if there is something that they have done to promote or create the problems she would like to have addressed with legislation. Perhaps if Larson and others like her in Hollywood could focus on making great films and then promoting those films in a pure and positive manner, the response received back would not be what is currently hitting them. Hitting someone and then crying a victim when you are hit back is childish at best and insane at worst. If Wu thinks that Larson is an innocent victim of man-hating internet dwellers, she simply has not done her research. Metacritic scores from users' reviews have the film in the low 60s with a fairly even ratio of male-female reviewers and a spread across the percentile scores. If this was simply an army of online trolls, the amount of reviews across all sites, both consumer and professional, would not be as poor to mediocre as they are. The truth is, Captain Marvel is a mediocre film, by all accounts, and the root of that mediocrity stems from people like Wu, whom focus on messaging inside the media more than they do the quality of the content itself. Here's the trick, Wu. Do something great and people will acknowledge your greatness. Since you continue to not produce things that people think are worthy, you continue to get nothing in return that you want. Thanks for stopping by. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.